Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. The NDA sweeps Bihar election. Trends show that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's ruling coalition is set to comfortably retain power in the state. BJP and JDU party offices erupt in celebrations as the NDA heads for landslide win in Bihar. Security forces demolished the home of New Delhi blast accused Dr. Umar Nabi in Jammu and Kashmir. 2 more terrorists arrested from the Kashmir rally. NASA's payload marks the company's first science delivery to space. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin launches landmark Mars mission. Let's begin with the big news of the day, the results from Bihar elections. The National Democratic Alliance appears poised for a commanding and decisive victory in the Bihar state elections, with latest counting trends placing the coalition in a remarkably strong position as it leads have surpassed 200 mark of the 243 seats in the states. The latest trends showed the NDA had surpassed its 2020 mark when it secured 122 seats, with opposition's Grand Alliance, also called Mahagathbandhan, is merely leading on 29 seats only, while Prashant Kishore's Jan Suraj party failed to even open an account. BJP is leading at 100 seats, while its alliance partner JDU is leading in 80 constituencies. Trends reflect NDA alliance's strong organizational presence and coordinated campaign strategy. Adding further weight to the NDA's tally, Chirag Paswan's LJP has taken the lead in 21 seats, while Jitan Ram Manjhi's Hindustani Awam Morcha is ahead in 4 seats. On the other hand, Rashtriya Janata Dal leader and former Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Tejasvi Yadav is trailing by over 8,000 votes from Raghopur constituency. All right, our correspondent Siddharth is joining us from the BJP headquarters in Delhi. Siddharth, it is a very important day and we've seen how the election results, the astounding victory that has been put forth by NDA in the Bihar elections. You're there at the BJP headquarters in Delhi. What are you picking up?
Hi Preeti, I'm at the BJP headquarters here, and the atmosphere here, as you can see behind me, is really electric. And people and party leaders and all the party workers are also celebrating. The celebration started like more than 2 hours ago, and they are still continuing. And people have very much confidence, the party leaders, the party workers, that this is historic. These elections, these Bihar Assembly elections are certainly historic, and of course in many ways, Preeti, because when you see the voter turnout, the overall voter turnout, the women voter turnout, the men voter turnout, it clearly goes on to show that how people have been aware, that people are aware, of their vote, and in huge numbers they came out. I was there at the second phase when the polling was going on, and I had asked people, the first time voters, the women, the men, everyone, that what is the reason behind so many people coming and voting, and they said that we are voting for development, and this is the only issue that we have. There are some other issues as well. For first time voters, they want better infrastructure, they want development, they want road infrastructure, they want financial empowerment. And as far as the women are concerned, they were really happy when we had a word with them. They were saying that the schemes launched by the state and that the center, the schemes for women and the women outreach has certainly directly impacted the households for which women are very happy, and that's the reason why we are seeing these results as per the party leaders. The party leaders are also saying, since the morning, since the beginning, I filed a story wherein here in BJP headquarters, the sattu ka paratha, which is very famous in Bihar, and also the jalebis were being made, and they were being given to the visitors and all the media personnel. So the confidence was there since the beginning by the party workers and leaders, but the celebration was not happening, because the trends involved, you also know, Preeti, the picture becomes more clear, and now the picture has almost become clear. So the celebrations are going on in full swing, and people are really happy. The atmosphere here is very electric. As far as the women voters are concerned, Preeti, this is the highlight of these elections, because when you see 71% votes by women, around 71%, and which is roughly 8.8% higher than the men voter turnout, this clearly goes on to show that the women are now independent and influential voter bloc. And apart from that, the schemes that have been launched by the center and the state, for example, in the state of Bihar, the schemes that have been launched, which is Mukhyamantri Mahila Rozgar Yojana. Apart from that, there are some other schemes as well. Apart from that, the school uniforms which is being given, the bicycles which is being given, the pension hike, the free electricity 125 units, they all contributed to the numbers that we are seeing on our screens right now.
Yes.
And, when we talk about the men voters, when we talk about the issues, Preeti, of people, the issues apart from everything was the overall development of the state of Bihar. The issue was the road development, infrastructure development, overall development of Bihar. The migration issue was at the top. People were saying that, migration becomes a top issue. When the job opportunity will be there in the state of Bihar, people won't have to move out, and they further can take care of their family in a better manner. So migration is a top issue, and it will also boost the overall economy of the state of Bihar. So that's very important. And people are saying, when I was there during the polling, they were saying that they are very happy with the way the current government is working, but there is always a room for development. So they are now voting for the development, and they had this confidence. They told me that slowly and gradually it will take place. Here in Delhi, the party headquarters, the senior party leaders were since the morning saying that we have confidence that the NDA is making the government in Bihar. I took our viewers through the celebrations as well when they were happening, and they were absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, I'll take that forward to Deepika
because they had confidence.
All right, Siddharth, I'll take that forward to Deepika. Deepika is joining us from Bihar, Patna. Deepika, what are you picking up from there? How do you gauge the political pulse, though the election results, though not formally declared, but we see, the picture is more or less very clear at present. What is it that you're witnessing there in Bihar?
Good evening, Preeti. A very celebratory day for the entire NDA alliance when we talk about this historic result. This is not about winning this particular election, but an electoral shift that Bihar has witnessed this year, especially with this ongoing assembly election that concluded today, and formally it will be concluded in a few hours from now, with the Election Commission of India putting up the final result with their official confirmation. However, not only touching the 3-figure mark, but crossing the 200 mark itself is a landslide victory, and here people voted for development. Just now, 10 minutes ago, Vinod Tavle, who is the General Secretary of BJP in Bihar, addressed the media, and he said that everybody has been chasing him, including the media, since past 2.5 hours to speak something about the party and the alliance, and today he broke his silence because he's so happy, and he promised that since the people of Bihar have voted for governance, have voted for development, they will ensure that the double engine government deliver that development, that progress to the people of Bihar here. Preeti.
All right, Deepika, you extensively covered the Bihar elections. Siddharth is at the Delhi headquarters, and he talked of the issues which were prominent this time around, and he also put forth the overwhelming participation of women during these elections. What are the other surprise takeaways, if I ask you, that have marked Bihar elections 2025?
While women turnout has been a turning point in this tectonic shift in the politics of Bihar and the polity of Bihar, another shift which will go down in the books of history of Bihar politics is the rise of casteism that Bihar is witnessing with this assembly election. The Muslims and Yadavs is a story of past now, because the gears now shift to Mahila and youth. This is the new MY factor. The women and youth is the new Mahila and youth is the new MY factor when we talk about it. So rising above the casteism, the issues of caste, the Muslims, the Yadavs, the Bhumihars, Bihar has voted for development. That is a big takeaway this time at this particular election. And also, apart from casteism, apart from women, Gen Z has played a very huge role, because 18 to 39 years of age group depicts 50% of the voter turnout of the people who voted this time across Bihar, across the 243 constituencies of Bihar. And what Gen Z wanted is less migration, more employment opportunities and more job opportunities. And the city of Patna depicts an entire completely different picture, a forward-looking picture that also becomes a promising picture for other areas adjacent to Patna and spread across Bihar. That has been also witnessing a huge shift when we talk about the momentum that BJP has picked. And as also Vinod Tavle, the General Secretary, said that this has not happened overnight. This has been the hard work of the NDA alliance, especially the BJP government led under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the past 20 years, and especially in the past 10 years, that has witnessed that transformational shift that resulted in today's landslide victory, leaving no room for other parties at all.
All right, Deepika, at this point, I'll bring in Siddharth. Siddharth, you're there in Delhi, and when we're talking of the election results, again we see BJP parties. Yes, Siddharth, am I audible to you? Siddharth, am I audible to you?
Can you repeat your question?
Yes, I'm about to ask my question.
Preeti, can you repeat your question?
Yes, I'm asking you my question, Siddharth. When we talk of these results, then we've seen how Congress has been decimated again. Added to that, the parties of Mahagathbandhan did not have a very good performance during these elections. At the same time, parties like LJP, parties like BJP and the NDA parties, they have put forth a very impressive performance. I would want to understand from you, Siddharth, what does it mean for regional parties when they come up with such astounding results, such overwhelming results? To what extent does that have a bearing on the national politics?
Definitely. Although these are the assembly elections, but there's a message which goes out, to the entire country. Bihar, which is often known as the political mirror of India, and the small parties are doing extremely well. The reason which, in my analysis, is the promise which is made to the public, and the public these days are very much aware. We have seen through the voter turnout as well, Preeti, and people categorically, the senior leaders, as per the senior leaders, they were saying to me today that the people of Bihar have categorically rejected the Kattaraj and Gundaraj, because which is the lawlessness. This is what the people have categorically rejected in the state of Bihar, and that is the reason the number we are seeing on our screens, these are there. The issues which I mentioned to you, like road infrastructure, overall infrastructure, education, healthcare, above every issue at the ground, which I analyzed, was the state of peace and calmness in the state of Bihar, for which people voted this time around. They came out in large numbers. There were systematically elections happening, and all credit, like I always mention, goes to the Election Commission of India. There was webcasting happening. The real-time monitoring was happening. People were not allowed to take their smartphones inside the polling booths, and there was other security checks as well. The documents were properly checked. So these are some of the security measures that Election Commission of India have made sure that the elections take place in a streamlined manner. As far as the small parties doing well is concerned, like I said, it is the promise that is being done to the public before the polls. And also, we have seen the huge women voter turnout, like I also mentioned before. This is because of the schemes that have been launched. But it's not just the schemes, I would say.
Right.
This is just one add-on. This was going on since long, and this is just one thing which is also done in the favor of women, and women.
Yes,
really,
indeed,
really
Siddharth. So the verdict by the voters says it all. Yes, the verdict by the voters says it all. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us, Siddharth and Deepika. Thank you for your analysis and your insights, for joining us with those updates in the bulletin. And up next, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari said that the people of Bihar have given a historic mandate to the NDA, praising the government's work on development, infrastructure and employment over the past decade. Let's listen in.
बिहार की जनता ने एनडीए को जिस प्रकार से समर्थन दिया है और बहुत ऐतिहासिक है। जातीयवाद के विरोध में और बिहार में जो डबल इंजन की सरकार ने जो प्रगति और विकास करके दिया है, उसी बात का समर्थन बिहार की जनता ने किया है। बिहार में रोड, पानी, बिजली, उद्योग, विकास और रोजगार, ये प्रश्न जो है ये प्राधान्य से सुलझाने चाहिए, लोगों की अपेक्षा है। और पिछले 10 साल में हमारी सरकार ने जो कार्य किया मोदी जी के और नीतीश कुमार के नेतृत्व में, उसको सफलता मिली है और बिहार की जनता ने यह ऐतिहासिक जीत एनडीए को दी है।
BJP MP Ravi Shankar Prasad praised the historic results in Bihar, emphasizing that the people have voted for development and trust in Prime Minister Modi's leadership.
बिहार का चुनावी नतीजा ऐतिहासिक है। बिहार की जनता का अभिनंदन। जिस तरह से जात पात की सीमाओं से ऊपर उठकर उन्होंने वोट दिया है विकास के लिए, ये आशा का वोट है, ये विश्वास का वोट है। विश्वास है नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में, जिस तरह से उन्होंने बिहार के विकास की गारंटी लिया।
You're watching DD India Live. We're headed for a short break, but after the break, India and Russia review trade relations. Rescuers search for survivors after landslide hits Indonesia.
When we stop seeing ourselves as separate from the world around us, caring for our planet becomes caring for our own existence. So today, let's meet people who are showing us even small steps can bring about lasting change.
I left the teaching job, started protecting palm trees. I began creating awareness among children in schools and colleges why palm trees are important and why we should care about saving them.
This habitat develops on its own inside the vortex pool. There's water moss on the walls and here on the bottom. The moss growth on the walls and bottom is proof that the water quality really is improving.
Past, we didn't know what conservation was or how to preserve or protect the wildlife. Now, through this restoration site, we are trying our best to carry forward a legacy of protecting the environment.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Live. Coming to the latest developments in the Delhi blast case, a joint search operation was launched by the Indian Army, Jammu and Kashmir Police and BSF at Jabri Forest, Tangdhar, based on the specific intelligence inputs. During the search, 6 grenades were recovered from a hideout in the forest, which were destroyed and also successful recovery of war-like stores and narcotics by the security forces in recent days is a testament to the alertness, vigilance and synergy between stakeholders, which plays a pivotal role in successful operations. The residence of Dr. Umar Nabi, accused in the Red Fort Delhi blast, was demolished in Koil Muslimpura in Pulwama district. Now, the demolition took place during the intervening night of Thursday and Friday. DNA samples collected from near the exploded Hyundai i20 at the Red Fort have confirmed that the attacker was Dr. Umar Nabi, the prime suspect in the Faridabad explosive seizure case. Earlier, in a joint operation launched by police and security forces in Mominabad of Sopore district of Jammu and Kashmir, 2 hybrid terrorists, Shabir Najar and Shabir Mir, were arrested during the joint operation. Incriminating materials, arms and ammunition were recovered and the investigation is currently underway. On the occasion of Children's Day, President Draupadi Murmu interacted with children from various schools and organizations at Rashtrapati Bhavan Cultural Centre in New Delhi on Friday. President Murmu asserted that children are the future of our nation and it is essential to nurture them into confident and responsible citizens. The President also shared some joyful moments with the children as they sang Vande Mataram and recited poems. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tributes to former Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru on the occasion of his birth anniversary on Friday. In a post on X, Prime Minister wrote, and I quote him, "Tributes to former Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru ji on the occasion of his birth anniversary," and I unquote. The National Democratic Alliance has secured a sweeping victory in the Bihar Assembly elections 2025, reaffirming its stronghold in the state and the people's trust in its governance model. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman congratulated the leadership, stating that the victory reflects the people's confidence in the NDA's vision for Bihar. She emphasized that under the guidance of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the double-engine government will continue to accelerate Bihar's progress and work tirelessly for the betterment of its citizens. India and Russia held the 26th Working Group meeting in Moscow to review trade progress and push towards the 100 billion bilateral trade target of $100 billion by 2030. Now, the meeting, co-chaired by India's Commerce Secretary Rajesh Agrawal and Russia's Deputy Minister Vladimir Ilikev, reviewed trade facilitation steps and signed a protocol outlining the roadmap for expanding economic ties. Both the sides agreed to boost business delegations, fix market access and logistics issues, fast-track India EAEU FTA talks and speed up agreements on services, investment and manpower mobility. Union Minister of Coal and Mines G. Krishna Reddy inaugurated the Ministry of Mines Pavilion at the India International Trade Fair in New Delhi. G. Krishna Reddy's inauguration drew attention to the recent achievements of the Mines Ministry that were showcased through the exhibits inside the pavilion. Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta also opened the Delhi Pavilion at the ongoing trade fair. The British Broadcasting Corporation, that is the BBC, issued a personal apology to United States President Donald Trump on Thursday, regretting the editing of a documentary that misleadingly spliced his January 6, 2021 speech to suggest that he incited violence during the U.S. Capitol storming. Aired on Panorama just before the 2024 election, the program prompted legal threats of a $1 billion defamation suit unless withdrawn with compensation. The broadcaster denied any legal basis for claims, removed the film from platforms and announced no rebroadcast plans. The BBC said it was also investigating a possible second instance in which a speech by US President Trump was edited in a misleading way. The BBC said on Thursday that its chairman had sent a letter to US President Donald Trump apologizing for a misleading edit of one of his speeches, but rejected that it was grounds for a defamation lawsuit. BBC Chair Sameer Shah apologized personally and to Parliament, calling it an error of judgment. Amid resignations, bias allegations and a leadership vacuum, the corporation probes similar NewsNight edits reported by The Telegraph. Jeff Bezos founded Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket completed a landmark mission, launching 2 NASA satellites towards Mars and achieving its first successful booster landing. The New Glenn rocket lifted off from Florida on its debut mission for paying customers, carrying NASA's twin EscaPADE satellites towards Mars after days of weather delays. About 10 minutes after the liftoff, the reusable booster landed on a barge in the Atlantic, New Glenn's first successful sea landing. Blue Origin confirmed the rocket's upper stage deployed the satellites for their 22-month journey. NASA's payload marks the company's first science delivery to space, and the launch follows an earlier failed landing attempt in January. Rescuers on Friday searched for survivors in Indonesia's central Java province after a landslide hit parts of a village. The landslide, which hit the Cilacap area on Thursday, killing at least 2 people and leaving 21 missing. The area had experienced heavy rainfall over several days, which triggered the landslide. On to sports updates now. Indian men edged Korea in a thrilling final to clinch the gold medal at the Asian Archery Championship in Dhaka on Friday. The trio of Yashdeep Bhoge, Atanu Das and Rahul defeated Korea in the shoot-off, securing a 5-4 victory. In the shoot-off, both the teams scored 29 with 2 10s and a 9, but the Indians won courtesy of having the closest arrow to the centre. Overall, India has won 6 medals, 4 golds and 2 silvers at the ongoing edition of the continental event so far. In a much-awaited showdown, world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz swept past Italy's Lorenzo Musetti 6-4, 6-1 to maintain his perfect start at the ATP Finals in Turin. With a commanding win over Musetti, Alcaraz retained his position as world number 1. It was his 6th consecutive victory against the Italian. The Spaniard is through to the semi-finals of the ATP Finals in Turin for a second time in the last 3 years. Alcaraz's triumph has also denied Yannick Sinner's hopes of overtaking him, ensuring that Alcaraz will finish the year as world number 1. India A clinched a thrilling 4-wicket win over South Africa A in the first unofficial ODI on Thursday, chasing down 286 in 49.3 overs. Ruturaj Gaikwad played a pivotal role with a composed 117 off 129 balls, anchoring the innings after a strong start. Earlier, South Africa A recovered from 53 for 5 to post 285 for 9, thanks to fine knocks from its lower order batters. India A's chase was supported by Abhishek Sharma's 31, Tilak Verma's 39, and finish off by Nitish Kumar Reddy's 37 ensured a confident series opening win. That's it in this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. Now, this app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.